The morning light spilled gently across the wide lawn of the Hawthorne estate, touching the old oak trees and the quiet house that had learned how to grieve. Adrian Hawthorne stood by the window longer than he realized, his coffee untouched, his thoughts drifting back to a time when mornings had been filled with laughter he hadn't had to force himself to remember. 2 years had passed since his wife's passing, 2 years since the world had praised him for being strong while never asking how heavy strength could feel when carried alone. His twins, Oliver and Noah, were the reason he rose every day, the reason the house still breathed, yet even they could not fully soften the ache of absence. That was why he had hired Clara. He hadn't been looking for anything except help, someone patient, gentle, reliable. He certainly hadn't expected the quiet miracle she brought with her. Clara arrived without drama, without flattery, and without fear of the shadows that lingered in the corners of the estate. She spoke to the twins as if they were already wise, sang to them as if the world were kind, and worked with a devotion that never once asked to be noticed. Adrian noticed anyway. On that particular afternoon, he stepped outside to escape the pressure of emails and expectations, only to pause when he heard laughter, pure, ringing, unguarded. It was the twins. He followed the sound and stopped short at the edge of the yard. There, beneath the open sky, Clara had set a simple metal barrel, filling it with warm water from the garden tap. She knelt beside it, sleeves rolled up, her attention entirely on the boys as they splashed and squealed, delighted by the simplest joy. There was nothing extravagant in the scene, nothing performative, just care in its most honest form. Adrian felt something tighten in his chest, not desire, not yet, but recognition. This was what had been missing. Not luxury, not perfection, but warmth. Clara laughed softly when one twin splashed the other, correcting them gently, teaching kindness even in play. She didn't know she was being watched, and that made the moment feel sacred. Adrian realized he was holding his breath, afraid that moving might break the spell. He saw how relaxed his children were, how safe, how fully present. For the first time since his wife's death, he didn't feel like a man performing fatherhood, he felt like a father again. The memory of his wife flickered through his mind, not as pain but as approval, as if she were whispering that it was all right to let life back in. That realization frightened him more than loneliness ever had. Over the following days, Adrian found himself lingering where Clara worked, inventing reasons to be nearby. They spoke more, cautiously at first, about books, about childhood, about the strange courage it took to care deeply in a world that could take everything away without warning. Clara never pushed, never pried, yet somehow she listened in a way that made silence feel safe. Adrian noticed how the twins ran to her with scraped knees and triumphs alike, how she celebrated their small victories as if they mattered, because they did. One evening, after the twins were asleep, Adrian thanked her for the day with a sincerity that surprised them both. Clara smiled, not the polite smile of an employee, but one filled with quiet understanding. In that moment, Adrian realized that love hadn't arrived like a storm or a grand confession. It had crept in softly, disguised as trust, as peace, as the sound of children laughing in a barrel under the open sky. He understood then that falling in love wasn't betrayal of the past but a promise to the future, a future where his children could grow in a home filled not just with wealth, but with warmth. If this story touched your heart, if you believe in second chances, quiet love, and the beauty of unexpected beginnings, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become part of our storytelling family, because more powerful stories like this are waiting just for you.